takes me like a week to upload it when I do remember.
Yep. Well,
I'm bad
I've done
like
it.
that.
It's all good. It's all
Good
good.
stuff.
Yeah. And yeah, Inferno Pool's of course one of the only, in fact, I think the only true four-spawn map in the current map pool.
Yeah,
So,
I wanna say you're right. I think that's true.
I mean, there's only other,
Yeah.
I think there's only other
Yeah.
two maps with four spawn locations on, and Deadwing, the other one,
Yeah.
is obviously cross or is no
Yeah.
horizontal spawns. So
No, hers.
cross or vertical
Indeed.
only. And,
The only
Yeah.
truly chaotic map
absolutely.
in the universe.
And they're spawning on
It's
cross
also,
spawn.
I believe, the only one with islands. Is it?
Yes,
I think I'm right
definitely.
in saying that. Yeah.
Um,
So it's just messed up.
it's a bit of a weird one. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of features that advantage Terran a little bit on this map. The islands, the general layout and attack paths. However, on cross positions, those don't come into play so much. The islands maybe a little more, but on cross positions, it's a much, much larger rush distance, so the game is a bit more likely to go long. So Mutalisks are much more likely to come into play. And Mutalisks just kill an island expansion. That's pretty much what happens. Unless you invest into way more turrets than the island expansion is really worth, then yeah, I mean, the Mutalisks just kill it. So it'll be a bit interesting to see where Dubsak takes his fourth base, probably around about here, if we see the game that far. Because obviously the other choice is the gold base, which, whilst gold, is much, much riskier given the high ground all around it.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of Terran advantages, having that there can definitely be problematic if they end up with tanks up in that position. You're trying to hold that base.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we got a Hellion opening here from DrennoC. He didn't go with a Reaper opening to start with, which often is common on the big map to do that. But he is going directly into Hellions. Ling's coming in at the same time that the Hellions leave and actually may stop this bunker from going up.
Yeah, they're going to focus down that fast speed actually out of Dubsak as well. A little bit an unusual choice, but I quite like it. I mean, it's netted him 2 SCV kills, and the Hellions have had to be brought back pretty much as soon as they left. So bought himself a little bit more time there, and that is time he's going to use to build 12 more Lings. I kind of feel like these are a little bit panic Lings in response to the Hellions that he sees, because DrennoC he's gone for some fast Hellions.
Yeah, I do agree, but I think they're almost unnecessary. Like, you want a few, but he's already got a spine crawler up. He's got a queen there. He's making way X. He's even continuing with another 12. So yeah, I do think it's a little too much, but I guess better safe than sorry when it comes to Hellions. Also, it would be better if he was using them though.
Yeah, they definitely need to be doing something, even if that all they're doing is holding off the Hellion production. Nice positioning on the Hellions, but the two of them get out, trying to go through. And yeah, I mean, they are going to kill off all these Hellions. So that secured Dubsak's map control very nicely. However, actually, I said however, but he's actually still ahead in workers anyway. So 20 workers to 31 of Dubsak. So I think he's looking pretty good. Even having built all those Lings.
Yeah, exactly. He's got to be fairly happy with that. He's got a Roach Warren behind that and going up to lair. And now he's coming right in, just bypassing the bunker completely.
Yeah. Oh! The Widowmine isn't going to get a great shot, actually. Just kills like 2 or 3 Lings. There is another one up the top of this ramp, but that's going to go off on just 2 Lings. And now a lot of SCVs going down for DrennoC.
Yeah, the Marines will eventually clear this up. Retreats back to the bunker as the second wave comes in. I don't think this one will get as far as he is actually stopping to try and address the bunkers, but if it wasn't for the double bunker, he could actually just straight up overrun the position. He will end up cleaning it up here now, but not before getting a few more mules and some other things.
Just good damage done overall here by Dubsak. Not game-ending by any means, but
not expensive at all. Like, given that he, like we said, kind of overmade Lings to defend, he had them all still alive and then put them to really good use.
Yeah, definitely. Now going into Roaches, and I almost feel like this could approach the killing blow versus DrennoC here, because I mean, the Widow Mines are going to help a lot, but if Dubsak can bait them out nicely, then just the roach you've got will be a really scary force for DrennoC to deal with. He has nothing to handle those. No Marauders yet, no siege tanks. But on the other hand, it's going to take a while for Dubsak to get across the map. We'll kind of see what happens when he's there.
Yeah, it is a really long reinforcement path as well, obviously. He is getting road speed about halfway done, which helps a little bit, but it's still just so long to cross it. And long enough that the Widow Mines, presuming that they're not actually cleared up, which I don't think they will be, will reset before each new wave comes in.
Yeah. Oops. Yeah,
there are four of them.
Yeah, there's four of them.
I don't know where the fourth one's going.
I think there's more Widow Mines than that, aren't there? I thought I saw double Widow Mines being produced, and there were already three.
There's a fifth somewhere.
His one. It's down down on the bottom of his main kind of guarding against Overlords, I guess. I don't know. That's a much better location. That's a great location for Widow Mines against Protoss and Terran, but kind of pointless against Zerg.
Not so much, yeah.
But it's still fine. Is that Widow Mine in the medevac? Yes, it is.
Yes, he put one in there, and we do say that the Overlord, not as worth it, but he did actually kill one off and has created a supply block for quite some time for his opponent, right when he obviously wants to be really moving out and attacking. The drop will kind of track on in as the army is completely out on the map for Dubsak, but it actually is a pretty big army at this point.
Yeah, it's getting pretty scary. He's not actually supply block, but there's 5 Overlords on the way. I'm going to make sure that supply blocks aren't important for a while. I'm not sure what I don't know. He's baiting out the Widow Mines quite well, so far. Yeah, there we go.
He's got the overseers there finally too.
Yeah, so he can clean them up. And now, bunch of roaches moving up this ramp. There are a couple Marauders here for DrennoC. But yeah, he absolutely needs to repair these bunkers. The SCV's coming off the line now, but Dubsak actually isn't getting on top of them, so he might be able to keep these bunkers alive just by the skin of his teeth, getting down like 10 health, I'm sure, on these bunkers. And now the SCV surrounding them, Dubsak can't break this. And with the Marauders firing down from the bunkers, no less, I think this has been held really, really nicely. A few of the roaches will just go straight past, but now if DrennoC just unloads and kills these roaches, no real problem. At the same time, over in Dubsak's base, a bunch of workers have been going down to these drops. 13 workers have been killed. This Widow Mine alone has got 6 kills. And it's still alive. I don't think Dubsak even knows it's there, so it's going to come off cooldown in just a second. And fantastic damage being done here by DrennoC, multitasking his attack and his defense at the same time.
Yeah, DrennoC making the really right call of he needed all the workers, and he pulled all the workers. A lot of people would just pull like 4 or something like that and try and keep their mining still going. He recognized that it was a bigger problem than that and pulled everything. And he literally needed everything.
Yeah, definitely better to overcommit than undercommit in those sort of situations. But now might be a little too early to move out. I don't think he can actually compete with that army without the defensive capabilities of bunkers. So he's going to retreat back to them and have to lift this and cancel the bunker, lose the SC. But not too bad. Still, looking at the army, DrennoC is looking at the units tab, equal on workers with his opponent, which is a great position for a Terran to be in, because obviously that means the income going to be about 500 higher, just looking at us, between 200 and 500 higher. So that's going to be really, really nice to him with his mules. And we'll see how well he can translate that into units, and thence the game.
Yeah, exactly. That usually is how they play out in the upgrades here for the Berserk player. A little bit better. He's at 1-1 compared to 1-0 on the Terran side, but the medevacs obviously will do pretty well against the fairly slow damaging roaches.
Yeah.
Stim forward as he pushes away.
Yeah, very nicely.
The Zerg has the opportunity to go for the third. I don't think he knows it's there yet, but that would be probably the weak point in this so far. As long as their Terran can keep falling back to the bunkers, he definitely can't be overrun.
Yeah, absolutely. The bunkers, that high ground advantage, all sorts of things, really. The high ground advantage is kind of lessened by these overseers, but still, just the fact that the Zerg will have to walk up there and walk around the bunkers. But Yeah, the longer Dubsak stays on roaches as well, the further he'll kind of fall behind. As DrennoC has already caught up in upgrades from where he was behind Dubsak's double upgrades. And roaches are very, very much an economic... They're like... They're an economy in army form. The only reason roaches ever win games is because you've got away with some horrendous economic greed early game. And sometimes that's just because you're a Zerg and you can go hatch first and that's fine. A little bit of a drop going by in the main, and actually this is doing way more damage than it should.
Pretty big one.
Yeah. 10 workers gone down in that
drop.
Just
were not pulled at all.
No, not even slightly. But yeah, later on in the game, as economies start to equalize and lava, aren't as good as just having been producing workers consistently, or at least they equalize. Roaches start to become way, way less efficient. They're cost efficient, but they're not supply efficient. So when supply starts to actually matter, they plummet into the ground as an army composition. And DrennoC is actually now above Dubsak in supply with a more supply efficient composition. So he's going to march in here. He's going to take out this gold base, no problem. He's going to march on into the third or into natural, and he's going to just smash everything in his path because he's way ahead of his opponent in almost every regard.
Drop coming back into the main. There is the spore there now, but he will just drop slightly out of range of it. All these are so damaged, but it doesn't matter. There's no army there. Takes out the gold base and backs off. A few widow mines, or just one widow mine going off, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going back into the main, taking out this spore here. Getting a little closer. The army is still a fair ways off as he targets down the infestation pit, which is a fairly big pickup if he gets it. There's 5 infestors are on the way. Trying to finish it off. Oh, he just leaves it. He
21 health.
Picked up. Yeah.
If he had got one more shot with his Marauder, it would have died.
I would go back for it immediately. I would go back for it right now. It's a fairly big deal.
The Marauder's still there. Yeah, if he just needs one more shot with that Marauder. Well, 2 now. Now it's regen.
Yeah. I would have definitely gone back. Well, I wouldn't have left, but I would definitely go back. Oh well. But here comes the Bioforce now. They may actually catch the infestors in the back. 2 of them are dying, stimming forward to get the others. Only 1 left here. Does go down. Very weakened Terran force, but enough to break through without really losing a lot of it. The mass pickup, and right in the Zerg's face, this looks like trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. With no hydras or anything to kind of keep these medevacs away. Just the spore crawlers is the only anti-air. It's nowhere near enough, and they're going to smash through here. The remax from the Zerg, very, very few units. Now 94 army supply, or 94 supply to 168 from DrennoC. He's going to smash through this third. In the first game of the night, looks like it's going to go to a yellow Terran player. Can Dubsak make a miracle happen, though?
Yeah, it's going to be rough on roaches. He is bringing out another round of lings. There were no banelings in this game, and that was really a big deal against this very bio-heavy army. I mean, this is all basically bio, just with widow mines mixed in, and not even very many of them. So, yeah, eventually, like you said earlier on, roaches just lose their traction completely.
Absolutely.
As you go later.
Yeah, I mean, I play quite a lot of Roach Hydra, but the Hydras are definitely what it's all about punches and timings and like how you transition on into it. So the one roach attack, fantastic, lots of roaches, great in the early game, as I was saying. The extra Hygalisks along with 2/2. The Hygalisks add the damage that you need to sustain through, and as DrennoC moves up here, could be the last engagement. Dubsak does have some spine crawlers finishing up here, but he has really very little tanking for them, really very little to add DPS as they tank, so DrennoC is actually just going to smash straight through them. Every single one dies in just a couple of hits. All these Marauders adding up so much DPS on the armored units, and GG! Okay, guys, welcome back to Deadwing, as was foretold, and spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner, representing Outset Gaming, but also, of course, the ASL itself as one of our very own casters. It is a yellow Terran player, DrennoC, or DrennoC, as he sometimes doesn't like to be known.
I know. It's weird. He's clearly named Connor. Drop him. Over here on the top left-hand side of the map, we do have in the cross positions, it is the currently teamless pink Zerg player. He is Dubsak.
Oh, yes. And going for a 15 hatch here. Pretty normal stuff. Have I figured out? There we go. Yeah, Deadwing, of course. Another huge macro map. And I would expect both players to open up with, again, huge macro plays. So, pretty consistent with what we're seeing here from both these players. DrennoC opening Reaper Expand. And, oh, actually not Reaper Expand. That's a little interesting. Going for a Marine
he did
first.
this last time too. I expected it. On the big maps, you kind of just expect Reaper. But
Yeah.
it's not there.
Yeah, that's that. I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess he did do exactly the same thing last time, so
Yeah.
why are we surprised? So faster factory, I mean, gets you faster Hellions, gets you a little bit more of a contain on that creep spread. Maybe on the faster maps, the Zerg thinking, oh, I can get away with some pretty fast third bases, all sorts of things. And the Hellions are much better at punishing Zergs for things like that than Reapers are, really. So I guess it makes sense.
True enough. True enough. And we have the gas being mined here by Dubsak. Big tail will be if he continues to mine after the 100 or pulls off and just goes for speed. He has obviously gone for the third hatchery there as well, so going to be fairly economic this time around.
Yeah, very, very quickly there. And I think it's a good choice in Deadwing as well. Very easy to defend three bases. DrennoC. Oh, actually, he doesn't quite see it. Just a little way out of vision. But yeah, very easy to defend three bases on these kind of three high ground based locations. So it'll be nice for him there. Again, quite a fast speed as well. So all good stuff coming out of Dubsak so far. And yeah.
Yeah, DrennoC building on the low ground is switching out for that factory into Hellions yet again. And last time he did this, he just got about 6 of these out, went across, lost them, and then was pure bio from there. Curious if he'll go with the same thing or whether that was an actual response to what he saw. It's obviously common now to get like the Hellbat, get a bunch of Hellions and move to a Hellbat transition. So that's certainly viable as well.
Yeah, Hellbat push can be really, really scary for Zergs if you don't respond correctly, but Dubsak does have that Baneling nest, so he would be okay if DrennoC was doing any kind of Helling build. For now, Hellbat building. Oh, okay, speed's just kicked in, so the Lings will be finding the Hellions. I was just wondering whether they would all get cleaned up, because slow Lings versus Hellions is pretty one-sided.
Yes, that is a little bit. And where is the speed is done here now. So he's at the watchtower, killing off that SCV, keeping an eye out for when those may come back, if they in fact do at all.
Yeah.
And they may not, because there are only 4, and he's actually stopped building them because he had switched into Widow Mines last time, and the drops worked so well for him that I can't see not dropping this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Each drop had such a lag in response time that he might as well try it.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Dubsak's morphing up 5 Banelings here.
Interesting.
It is interesting. He might try and bust through the bunker, but he'll only have how many Lings does he have?
He's got
he's got
like
more
6 there, and he's got 4 more coming. There's still only 10 though.
But the Hellions are coming back because they've seen them. Yeah, there's still like only 10 Lings, and those ones get picked off.
Now there's 6. Yeah.
And these Lings that there are probably getting killed off by Windmine.
Okay, he wants to bypass it. Okay,
I mean,
I don't know if that was the
but
best.
all the Banelings die to the bunker.
Yeah, it didn't work out so well.
That was a huge waste.
Yeah.
That was an absolutely
guess.
That was, I think, I'm trying not to be too critical, but that was possibly the worst play I've seen in a very long time. Dubsak, overall, he's been playing pretty nicely, but that was a questionable decision.
It wasn't very well. Yeah, it wasn't very well thought out there in terms of how much time he would be in the radius of that bunker.
Yeah.
And that bunker and those positions cover a fair bit.
I mean,
and with like slow banelings, that's not going to be. good.
If he'd been going for a Baning Bust and had just had tons and tons of lanes and went into the bunker, all those Banelings into the bunker, surrounded the bunker or surrounded the units and killed them all off and done all that, I could have respected that. I mean, a big all-in actually could well have ended the game versus DrennoC. He doesn't have like any supremely defensive units, just like one Widowmine. But as it is, now he spent all his lings. He has nothing to defend this Hellion drop, really, apart from his queens, and they're going to take a while to kill off all these Hellions. And there's just
huge match of them taken down.
7 drones went down.
7 kills.
Yeah, 7 drones went down for 2 Hellions.
Good.
Yeah.
Can't complain about that at all.
Not even slightly.
Yeah, we've got, early on in the game like this, for the Zerg player to not only be behind, but to have gone to 3 hatcheries and be behind on drones is, it's kind of crazy. He's just pulled ahead again now.
Yeah.
Because he did make a round of replacement. But still, usually you'd be much further ahead.
It's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah.
Concussive Shell's just finishing up now for DrennoC as well. Gonna help out a little bit. I mean, it's not super important versus Zerg, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Bit better against roach-based compositions, I'd say, than Lingbane, because Lings are so fast they just kind of run away anyway.
Yeah, it's more about just accidentally catching a Bane every now and then, and it's slower. That's about it. He's again going for this kind of spread out Widowmine defense up front, moving another bunker forward to defend this 3rd base, which is fairly prudent. So he's trying to be cautious as he does take that base, and he's going to fly directly over this new set of Banelings being morphed in. There's only there's only going to be 5 of them.
A little bit missed, Mike. Okay,
so I like what the idea made sense, but there are actually only 2 Banelings at the time.
Yeah, if we just kind of got one of them, I don't know. Either way, very, very nice baiting out the Widowmines by Dubsak, and he's just going to kind of kill them off. Really, really well played there. Moving up this ramp, though, into the bunker. He's going to spend everything he has trying to take down this bunker, and it gets inflamed, then just runs past, and there's 2 lings left, and they die.
Yeah, he does need to... What was that shooting for a second? I guess
Overseer.
still the Overseer. So he gets the repair on that, does not lose it. And looking pretty good. It's DrennoC held everything really without much effort so far.
Yeah.
He got a little lucky on that one to just kind of stumble into it, so he knew it was there. But because of the Widowmines and the way they were baited out, he knew he was going to know it was coming anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's okay.
That's kind of hidden advantage of Widowmines. Even when they're on cooldown, they do provide that vision, and you can have like kind of borrowed lings all over the place, and are in fact encouraged for doing so.
Yes. Indeed.
But yeah, for now, DrennoC's looking pretty good. A little bit behind on upgrades, but he does have 1-1 on the way, whereas Dubsak only has +2 weapons, and DrennoC will be completely finished with his 1-1 by the time he actually gets his 2-2 going.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, so still definitely in this, Dubsak does get supply blocked here a little bit again, but he is at, while they are on even worker counts, at least they're even. Other than that one drop, there hasn't really been any counterattacking by our Terran player yet, so he hasn't really got damage done, but he's just kind of gotten a lead in both army and economy.
Yeah.
And now looks to be moving out.
Yeah, I mean, so far DrennoC has pretty much throughout been the defending player, and the defending player is always at an advantage. The question is whether the attacking player has enough to overcome it, and so far Dubsak hasn't. Dubsak hasn't done, like, he really hasn't done almost any damage with any of his attacks, so DrennoC is pretty much untouched so far, and has been 100% ready for every time Dubsak's moved into him, just losing like health on bunkers and 1 or 2 marines. And so now, DrennoC's an enormous army supply advantage, 75-22 for Dubsak.
Yeah,
Dubsak is going to need
insane.
some miraculous Baneling hits. And more.
We get the pickup here going off into, I believe he'll just go directly into the main. No, it does actually stop off as he sees the 4th. And, okay. So he could force him to respond to that while his whole army is still kind of safely somewhere else. And yeah, you can see he doesn't want to engage with these Banelings yet. He goes after the drop itself. but now his whole army moves in, taking some really big hits actually, but it's still so much
It's
army.
just not enough. I mean, those were some decent baning hits, but decent is not good enough for what Dubsak needs here. And now DrennoC still... I mean, he's taken DrennoC down from tripling his army supply to about doubling it, but that is still not a good position to be in. The Spire's going to get finished up. There's a ton of Lings on the way, but Lings on their own just do not trade with this much bio, and GG